Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Straight to the Boston here, aka the King of Boston. Today we're back for episode 22 of my Road to the Show series here in MLB 14, the show. And we are getting into the month of September as we look to make a playoff push here. The Rays eyeing a wild card spot. Not really any chance of catching the division leading Red Sox. We were about 13 or 14 games behind them at this point. They're on a torrid pace, I think 92 and 51 entering this game. We are 77 and 63, but we are in control of the first wild card spot, battling with the Yankees in the AL East for that wild card spot, as well as the Mariners and the Angels closely behind in third and fourth position. But we are getting things started this episode right. We had a couple rough games to start out the episode. I think we went maybe 2 for our first 8 or so. But we get into the series against Boston, and we absolutely light things up in our first game. Our second home run in the game, this time going deep to center field, just over the Green Monster right there, off of Clay Buchholz for the second time this evening. We finish off the day with 3 hits. Now we are making the transition into full-time everyday starter playing DH. We sort of tapped our, dipped our toe into the waters of playing every day in the last episode. Sort of at the second half, in the second half of the month, we started becoming the full-time DH. I was unsure if it was because of injury to Allen Jones or James Loney, but no, it appears Allen Jones has just been relegated to bench duties. Loney's still in there, and we have taken over as the full-time DH. So this is our first full month of playing full-time. We work a walk against Brandon Beachy there. Now Jason Frazier on the hill. We get a base hit back up the middle off of him. I believe this is actually our second into the game. Playing with every day means I'm going to show you guys less and less of the highlights. I still want to go month by month for these episodes, which is pretty much what I've been doing for the last couple of seasons. But now things like seeing eye singles and stuff with the bases empty, probably clips kind of like that, you're going to see less and less of, just because they're not as necessary now that we're going to be having more highlights in that sort of month or so that we try to record here per episode. But we strike out here against Jake PV. That was a drop third strike. Almost beat that out. Now top of the fourth, trying to get a revenge on PV 0-2 count, and once again we strike out. So striking out twice against Jake PV, that is not something I want to do. So we're going to come back here in the top of the 7th, first pitch of the AB. PV still on the hill, and this time we take it to deep left center field. That one back, and it's going to hit off of probably the middle of the monster right there, and that will be a double for Saul. Goodman trying to get things going here in the 7th inning. So we finally get a revenge on PV, but we only end up going 1 for 4 that day, reaching on a fielder's choice later on in the ball game. So we end up following it up with a 1 for 4 performance again, getting on base twice, though, with a walk that we worked in the 9th inning. Now getting into a series against the Toronto Blue Jays here. We take strike 3 right there. That was a borderline pitch. Tried to take that one. Probably saying you should try to at least foul off with 2 strikes, but 42 is the score, top of the 4th, and that ball's driven to deep right center field. Right fielder going back. It's over his head, and it is gone. A 3-run homer for Saul Goodman, extending the Rays' lead. It is now a 7-2 ball game on the back of Saul Goodman's 3-run home run. So Goodman really flashing the power here early on in the episode, really becoming an all-around hitter. I thought this ended up being Saul's best month overall as a hitter. He kept his average up. It's right around that 300 spot, and it's going to finish right around there. And then we, kept the power up all month long. I just thought it was his best overall all-around month, and I think you'll see that throughout the video. So top of the 8th, it's a 10-2 ball game, and this one's driven to left center field this time, going back at the track, and that ball is gone. Our second home run of the ball game, our second 2-home run game of the episode already. We're only 3.5 minutes in, but that one almost 400 feet into dead left center field. I'm not really sure if Toronto is a pitcher's park or hitter's park. It always feels like a pitcher's park to me. Like, it always feels deep, but I'm not actually too sure if it is. In fact, if I had to guess, I'd probably say it's sort of regulation or sort of average. But either way, we go 2 for 5 that day with a pair of homers, and you can see we get our Bowman player spotlight or whatever, our Topps player spotlight, whatever you want to call it, and end up getting 4 RBIs the last game. So now going up against Drew Hutchinson, who I will always remember as the player I got my first MLB hit off of. Well, this time we're going to try and take him deep right field, and that ball is gone. Our 3rd home run of the series, and our third home run in just 2 days so far. So Goodman really heating up here in Toronto. And like I said, I always remember as Hutchinson as the guy that we did get our first hit off of in the big league. So always a special connection to that guy. But Goodman getting the best of him here, taking him deep for a solo home run right there for the Tampa Bay Rays, and now we end up going 2 for 4 that day with a single there in the 8th inning. So solid day out of Saul Goodman. 2 for 4 will take that 10 times out of 10. Followed up with an 0 for 4 though, including a double play in the 6th. So a little bit of inconsistency, not quite putting together like a long hit streak or anything. But Chris Tillman on the hill, and there that should have been ball 4, but instead it's strike 3. A cutter down. Goodman thought that was, like I said, ball 4, but We end up going 0 for 5 this time. Should have been a walk there, but it's all right. Can't blame the umpire. They're only human. So halfway through the month here, we're 81-67, a commanding game and a half lead over the Yankees, and a 2-game lead over the Mariners. So far we're in control of that playoff spot, looking to keep control of that. That's an RBI single for Saul Goodman right there, driving home a run against the Orioles. Now bottom of the fifth, still scores 3-0 now. Dylan Bundy on the hill, and we take this one to deep left center field, back at the track, and it's going to go off of the wall, off the MLB sign out there. Goodman holds it second, thought about 3 there, but thought better of it. Probably a wise choice, although we have gotten Saul's speed up to about 70 now, which is nice to see. So sort of putting together one of those tools. You know, we obviously have the 5 tools in baseball, but we enter this next game. We're already 2 for 2 on the day. With this time, the bases are loaded here against the Yankees. 5-0 already. CC Sabathia in, and we fly this one to center field. Center fielder looks like he is under it. He'll make the play, but that will get a run home with the bases loaded. It will be a sac fly. So we add on a sac fly and an RBI to our 2 singles already on the day, and that tops off a pretty nice day. 2 for 3, a run, an RBI, and overall a big win for the Tampa Bay Rays, beating the Yankees. A team that, like I said, we're competing against for one of these wild card spots. There's a base hit off of Max Scherzer into left field. Misplayed by the left fielder, so Goodman's going to round first, heading for 2. Now he's going to head for 3 here. Maybe not the smartest choice, but he's going to get in there safely. Offline throw certainly helped, but he might have gotten in there either way. So a nice piece of hitting and a nice piece of base running right there. Check out Saul wearing his PF Flyers, showing off the speed right there. Not something, like I said, he's had for a while, but starting to get that speed rating up. And we go 1 for 4 that day with a triple, and we also reached on an error in the second inning. So here we go, bottom of the third against Toronto, and this time we are trying to battle back from an 0-2 count. We foul off the 0-2, take ball 1, take ball 2. Now the 2-2 coming. That is going to be high for ball 3, so we've worked all the way back to 3-2, and we actually take a walk right there. That will get a run home as the bases were loaded, so a great at-bat right there out of Saul Goodman. That's something you would have not seen him do a year ago. He has just gotten much better in that sense of taking pitches, working counts, doing all the little things, grinding out at-bats, and doing all the little things that will help your team win. I think Saul's gotten a lot better at doing stuff like that in recent months, really. But Kevin Gausman gets him to strike out right there on the high heater, and we would end up going 0 for 4 that day with a strikeout. So a rough day for Saul at the plate against Baltimore. We're going to try and come back, though, next evening. And you can see I switched the stance here. I was trying to actually get Giancarlo Stanton's actual stance in the game, which is not really in the game. If you go to edit player and go to Giancarlo Stanton, his stance is just generic 1, but it's not actually that. It's like some special stance that is for some reason not in the game. So I was trying to get that stance. I ended up getting his old one from MLB 12, and I kind of liked it, so I stick with it here for the rest of the episode. And you can see that's just a fat pitch right there over the middle. You're not going to get that by Saul, so he takes that one out for, I believe, a 2-run homer, now 5-0. And later in the game, we take that one into right field for a base hit. That's going to get all the way down into the corner. Goodman rounding 1, heading for 2, and he will be in there safely with the slide. I always kind of like sliding excessively there, but probably should not do that because he might get hurt. But we get 3 hits that day. 3 for 4, and we pick up a big win for the Tampa Bay Rays. Orioles sort of behind us and the Yankees in the division. I think they're sort of out of the race in that next tier of teams. Probably going to finish over 500, but not really make any noise in the playoff race. Here, next game, deep to center field, and that ball is a no-doubt home run off of Wei-Yin Chen. Deep over center field, straightaway center, deepest part of the park, and Goodman absolutely smokes that one. So maybe the new stance is working here. It's sort of why I went to it. We ended up ending off the season pretty nicely with this new stance, so that's why I kept it. It's also a little bit unique, like, you know, it's not a stance that I don't think anyone else has in the on the rosters or whatever, so that's pretty cool. And we get a 2-run home run right there. Obviously the offensive production is another big reason why I'm enjoying it, as we hit our second home run in as many evenings. We only go 1 for 4 that day, but we'll take the big fly and we'll take the W that the Rays did get that day. So now top of the ninth here in our last series of this season. 3 games left to play. I'll show you the standings after this game, but we strike out there in a David Robertson curveball, and we end up losing that one 2-1. So I'm going to show you guys the standings here, and you're going to see we're 2 games back of the Yankees here for that first wild card spot. So with a win in their next game, they would clinch that wild card spot, and they do pick up a 5-3 victory. Now, we were tied with the Angels heading into this day. We come out of it after an 0 for 4, a 2 strikeout performance, and a bad loss from the Rays. We're going to come out of it. The Angels also lose. The Yankees clinch that first wild card spot, but we are tied with the Angels going into day 162, or game 162 here against Masahiro Tanaka. The Yankees, we take a splitter low there for a walk, Now top of the 8th, it's a 1-0 game, and Goodman's going to take this the opposite way. Left fielder ranging to his right, he will make the play. So we'll actually do not pick up a hit here. We do get on base once, but it would be enough as the Yankees, or the Rays, end up pulling off the 2-1 victory. Matt Moore with a great performance. We hand Tanaka his 12th loss of the year. Parnell picks up his 36th save. Now, a win and an Angels loss puts us in the wild card game. We'll have to see what the Angels do, and they ended up winning their last game as well. So we're going to have a 1-game playoff here with the Los Angeles Angels to decide who goes on to face the Yankees in the wild card game. A big day coming up. Jeremy Hellickson versus Garrett Richards, two guys who have had pretty good years so far. We pick it up bottom 2, no score in the ball game. Goodman takes this one to deep center field. Mike Trout going back, and he makes the play on the warning track and needed that one to go about 15 feet further. So now bottom of the 5th, it's 4-0 Angels. We need to get something going here to pick it up, but this does not do the job. That is going to be grounded to the second baseman for the out. And now it's the bottom of the 7th, 6-0 Angels now, but the bases are loaded, and it's time for the Better Call Saul moment of the episode here. A big hit could try and get the Rays back into this ballgame. 1-1 count from Garrett Richards, and that is going to be line to center field. Trout right to him. He'll make the play. The runner will tag up from third and score, but we're looking for a little bit more there. Need multiple runs this inning if we want to get back in this game, but it would not be enough, as we would only get a couple that inning. And we're going to head into the 9th. 8-3 is the score. Joe Smith on the mound. Saul is the Rays' last chance, and he ends up grounding back to Smith, who flips it on to Pujols at first for the ball game. And the Angels come home with a victory, an 8-3 win in the Trop, and that will send them on to the wild card game to take on the New York Yankees. So a disappointing end to the season for Saul, who really had a rough going out of it in the last week or so. His average dropped under 300. I believe he finished at 294, and he really took it hard. It was a rough, like I said, a rough go of things in that last week or so, and it just was not enough. Saul really took a lot of responsibility for that postseason collapse, or that regular season collapse, I should say. But you can see we got 4 years of service time left before we can become a free agent. So this is when the Rays are going to offer us our first long-term contract. We got 2 years of service time. You can become a free agent after your 6th year. So I'm going to take a 4-year, $4 million contract. It's certainly less than we could have gotten if we had waited out until arbitration, but money doesn't really do anything in this game, so we're better off just letting the Rays keep that money and spend that money to improve the rest of the team. So we take a 4-year, $4 million contract, and we still got 4 years left with this team before we can hit free agency. So that's going to do it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Doesn't matter.